Good evening. My name is Karley Smitherman, and I just want to start out by apologizing for not having my 3 audience members this week. I had planned on asking these 3 people, and unknowingly ended up having to go to work today. So that didn't work out very well. Our schedules just didn't line up afterwards, so I'm going to have to do it without my audience members. I apologize. I'm just going to jump into my thoughts for this week's episode of Hope for Tomorrow. The episode starts out with Monica, and she escaped from Temple and she arrives at Valerie's mansion. That's one of her good friends. Well, Valerie lets her in her home, but Temple shows up and forces his way inside of Valerie's home and continues to threaten the both of them. Valerie persuades Temple that she is the only one that lives there, but later in the podcast, it is revealed that she might have been tricking him. Okay, the plot switches to Sally and Mr. Roland. Roland has just offered Sally a deal that she cannot turn down. She is offered the city editor position for a paper. Well, she accepts, and Mr. Roland then tells her of a devious plan that he has come up with. He does not agree with some of the partnerships in the company, and he kind of wants the 2 sisters to back off. And he says at the next meeting that he proposes to up the annual budgeting. And he thinks that the sisters will not agree with this and they'll just want to back out of it. Well, Sally agrees with him, and then the plot switches again. It now switches to Evie in the hospital, except this time it is her point of view. Evie is outside of the hospital, and this creepy guy just comes up to her. She tries to tell him that I don't want any company, please leave me alone, but he insists. And I really don't like this part. It's kind of fuzzy. I don't understand what's going on. I wish it was more clear. Maybe that's because I am only on my 2nd episode. So hopefully in the future it'll get better, and I'm excited to see how everything plays out. But that was really just it for that part on Sally, on Evie. And then switches back to Monica at Valerie's house, and Valerie's secret guest, the paranormal activity guy, comes out, and he whispers the ghost that had scared Temple so badly to have a wreck, and that's where the podcast ends. I have a couple points I would like to point out. I really, really, really loved the acting at the very end with the ghost. I just thought that was really cool. For y'all to be able to produce that on live radio, and how just creepy she sounded and actually ghost-like, I thought that was really cool. As I mentioned earlier, I really didn't like the part with Evie at the hospital. I just thought it was very muddled and didn't make a lot of sense, especially to the viewers that have only viewed 2 episodes so far. I thought that wasn't a very good part for Evie. I didn't like it. And my third thing was I really liked the storyline this time. This storyline was a lot easier to follow. Last week in my video, I mentioned that I really didn't know what was going on, and I had to watch the video or listen to the podcast more than one time. Well, that was not the case this time. I really was able to go along with the story and pick up on things that were happening and recognize names and just associate one person with the next, and it was much easier to follow. I like the storyline. I'm really getting into it now.